Well, squat has certainly taken the spotlight in terms of just absolute strength potential among the big three movements. I wanted to know, those of you guys that powerlift especially, whoever watches my channel, do you ever feel as if two lifts feel pretty consistent for, say, a block or two of training, and then one just suffers? Like, for example, squat is doing pretty well, bench is getting back to the point where I'm pretty comfortable with it, and now deadlift is kind of lagging behind. I've also had scenarios where squat has suffered, deadlift and bench are great, and then before this block of training, it was actually squat and deadlift doing really well, and bench, was not doing so well. That was the first set of tempo squats that you guys just saw. I'll have the weights up as text on the screen because that kind of like takes away from the recording. I'd like to talk more about my thoughts and stuff, not the actual weight. Anyways, squat is doing really well, as I said. I'm getting a lot more comfortable. I think I'm taking the tempos a little bit better, especially compared to last week. I'd say there's a slight improvement. Can always improve, of course. This last set you guys have probably already saw. I posted it as a YouTube short. I think this is 446 on the bar for a set of 3. Next week I'll be actually trying to go for RP 8. I doubt it's gonna be that much more than this. It's either gonna be 452 or whatever's after 452 in kilos. It's in that 450 range. Moving on to bench press, my usual 2 count eccentric tempo, 1 count pause single. At RP7 this is 286. I'm feeling even more comfortable with my bench. This was a way better bench session than last week. Again, as I told you guys, I try to stretch myself all the way to the end and slowly bring myself to the bar. What that allows me to do is actually depress my shoulders and my scapula, because as I stretch along, that just happens automatically and I don't really have to think about it at all. What I was doing before was, because I wouldn't have so much room to get to the bar, all I would be doing is squeezing my traps together, and that's not really enough to build a good and stable arch. First set of 7 here felt pretty good up until the end. It was a little weird. I think this is 226. Anyways, it'll be on the screen.
Oh, you touch my tra-la-la. My ding-ding-dong.
No cringeworthy Gymshark tank top today, and I didn't want to chuck on my shirt, so it had to come off. Honestly, it made bench feel way better. I just wasn't going to slip off the bench no matter what. The friction between my back and the bench was perfect, and I felt like I could almost get a better arch than normal. That might just be some placebo. However, I think I might be benching shirtless, at least on the slightly harder sets.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Okay. That set of 7 was the heaviest I've gone in a while for that range of like 6 to 8 reps, and it felt really good. I definitely had 3 to 4 more, most likely 3 more reps instead of like 4 if I had to give a specific range, be like an RP 6.7, something like that. Anyways, these are more back off sets, but taken at a tempo and a slight pause at the bottom. Not really much to say here. I think I'm getting slightly better at the tempo, but it feels like the first rep is the one that I execute the best, and then the subsequent ones I either rush or the speed isn't consistent. I think I just probably lose a lot of focus after that first initial rep. But very good session, a big improvement from the previous week, especially last week since I had a rush and everything. I was able to take it a lot slower. Moving on to deadlifts, we are dialing back the intensity a little bit just because of what happened last week where 534 did not feel amazing. We have a couple, well, 2 theories as to why that might be. But anyways, I decided to take 484 for around RP5 of a pause single. Fell around that range, RP5. I was pausing a little too high the previous session, so I've tried to lower the pause. This is the second single, not a paused single, it's just a normal deadlift single. That felt like an RP 4, 4.5, which It's a little weird, it didn't feel too different from the pause single. Here are the back offs. I'm recording in front, I just wanted a slightly different angle for deadlifts this time. As for why they feel slightly different, I think it's honestly where I'm putting my feet. I used to grip the bar basically half in the smooth and half in the knurling. Now I'm fully gripping the knurling. I probably shifted my feet and my legs out a little wider, and that's probably why I don't feel my legs driving as much as they should. One other thing, as you guys might notice here, or well, it was probably the previous clip, you'd see it a lot better. I kind of shift my toes up and then I push them down right before I actually execute the rep. What I find that does for me is it increases foot pressure, so I don't have to start with my toes already on the ground and then think, spread the floor and everything like that. Just kind of stamping on the ground with just my toes helps me initiate leg drive a little more. Hopefully I can take all of this stuff into next week, and I think I've got slightly higher RPE single. We'll see what happens. Thank you very much for watching.